Taking a look outside this morning, you can see a little bit of haze there, but only 64 degrees. You notice the temperature there in the bottom right-hand corner. Nice and cool. That will be helpful to firefighters today. But we know that heat's coming back. Yeah. It always does. So we're getting a break from the 90s, but it's not going to last long.
And when it is that hot, it's easy to feel uncomfortable and sluggish. But that also could be a sign that you need some medical help. And Dr. Dianne McCallister, the Chief Medical Officer at Centura's Porter Adventist Hospital, joins us now. Nice to have you back, Dr. Dianne.
Great to be here.
And we hear about heat exhaustion, but there are lots of other conditions related to heat. Can you go through some of those with us?
There are a lot of conditions related to heat. Some are kind of minor. Heat rash is when you get those red bumps from excessive sweating. Heat cramps are what happens when we exercise really hard and our muscles cramp up. There's another perhaps more serious condition called heat intolerance, and those are, some of us don't mind the heat and some of us just feel miserable. And those people who feel miserable, there's actually a syndrome. It can be associated with high thyroid, with menopause, and with certain medications like diuretics that can make you more likely to get them. Even allergy medicines make you less tolerant of the heat. Then on the more concerning side is heat exhaustion and heat stroke. So heat exhaustion is a step on the way to heat stroke where you get a rapid heartbeat, you're sweating excessively, and you might be breathing heavily. That's a warning sign that you need to do something. Heat stroke, your heart rate is still very fast, but then your skin actually gets dry because you're running out of ways to sweat, and you can get faint, and people can even pass out. And that's a 911 emergency. It's very dangerous and people need immediate attention.
So there are a myriad of different conditions. We can't just assume, well, it's just because it's hot out. We have to be kind of mindful of what we're feeling.
We do have to be mindful, and you have to pay attention to what your activity level is and how hot it is. The hotter it is, the more humid it is, and the more you're moving, the more likely you are to move into that heat exhaustion, heat stroke area.
Okay. Can't help noticing you brought your fluids with you. We have to be really paying attention to how much we're taking in.
Yes, absolutely. On really hot days, especially here in Denver where we perspire and it evaporates so fast that we don't notice, we really should be drinking like 2 or 3 of these if we're outside. And then we need to avoid being outside in the heat of the day between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. when we're doing heavy exercise because it's just asking for trouble. Also, if you are outside, you should try to get in the shade and drink lots of fluids. And remember the salt. Water alone, if you're drinking large amounts, is not helpful. And if you start feeling bad, you really need to move into the shade and even put ice like in your armpits and try to cool down.
That'll get your attention.
It will, wake you up.
Of course, we say fluids. It's refreshing, at least initially, if you have a carbonated beverage, but you're hoping that water will be in that mix as well.
Right. You really want to lean more toward the water decaffeinated versions. Yeah. And the sports drinks are specifically made to replace all of the electrolytes you sweat out when you're perspiring.
You know, as you were going through that laundry list of things we shouldn't do, I couldn't help thinking of the firefighters who are out there in these 90 and 100-degree temperatures.
And all that gear.
In all that gear, out in the sun, working furiously to, dig fire lines and put out the fires. It seems like they're doing everything wrong. How do they do it?
They are doing everything wrong. And last night I was actually looking at websites for firefighters that describe how to get the hydration. They give them water. They give them salt pills. They take breaks. And we just need to be thankful to them because they're really pushing their bodies to the limit.
Yeah, they're young, they're strong, and they say they drink up to 2 gallons or more a day.
Oh, yeah, they're drinking. They just have to drink amazing amounts of water and sports drinks with the salt.
And they're conditioned because they train all year long, not just in the fire season.
Right, and it's really the elderly and the very young who are particularly susceptible to this. So.
Yeah, just be mindful of these things.
Oh, yeah, it's very important to pay attention.
Okay. Great information. Good. Thanks, Dr. Dianne.
You're welcome.
And you can find Dr. Dianne's weekly advice on thedenverchannel.com. Just click on our website, click on the Staying Healthy icon, and if there's a question that you would like her to discuss or a topic you'd like us to address here, email 11am@thedenverchannel.com.